The specialist system has been one of the biggest controversies with Battlefield 2042, and that is saying a lot because there has been a lot of controversy with this game. But today I actually wanted to talk about whether or not I think it was even that bad of a system, now that we are into the stage where we're actually not getting a new specialist each season. If you guys are enjoying the Battlefield 2042 content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, like I said, with this season, Season 5, although I am really enjoying the new map and the new weapons and stuff like that, it does feel to me as though it's lacking something, and I do think that that is essentially the fact we didn't get a specialist in this season. Now, obviously, all 4 of the previous seasons, we got a new specialist with the launch of the season, and with this one being the first one that we didn't get one, like I said, it feels as though we are kind of lacking something with Season 5. Now, to kind of clarify, I do much prefer the new system in 2042 with this sort of like mix between classes and specialists. I'm not sort of saying that I think this original specialist system was better than how it currently is, so I just want to make that clear, but I do think that the specialist system was probably not as bad as we all thought it was, in terms of, at least in comparison to how it is now, because personally I don't think the current class system is actually that different from how it was with the regular specialist system. I think it's very different than the original class system that we know from all the previous Battlefield games, and again, to clarify, I definitely think the class system is better than the specialist system, but for me, this version of the class system that's kind of like the middle ground, I don't think it's that different than how it was with the original specialists. I think the glaring thing with Season 5 is that I actually do miss getting a new specialist each season. When we were getting them in Season 1 to 4, I honestly didn't really care. The exception was probably with Zane, because I do actually really like playing Zane, and then kind of the same with Blasco. I don't really play Blasco that much now, but at least in Season 4, I was really enjoying playing as Blasco. So at the time, I kind of thought, yeah, I don't really care that much for these specialists. They don't excite me or anything like that. But now, I guess in hindsight, I actually do miss getting them each season, and it has kind of made me wonder why they actually stopped doing that. Although they did change to the class system, the specialist system is still in the game, with the fact that we can still choose whichever specialist we want. For me personally, 1 new map and about 2 to 3 new weapons every 3 months is just not enough to be fully engaged all season, and to be fair, I don't think 1 extra specialist per season is going to change that either. But like I said, it does feel as though we kind of lacked something with this season. I think Season 1 through 4 kind of gradually got better and better, whereas I do think, even though I'm enjoying Season 5, it doesn't quite stack up to the rest of the seasons for me personally. That could also be to do with the fact that we haven't got any new vault weapons, because obviously they are sort of prioritizing the fixes and adding the attachments and stuff like that. So that could probably also add to it too. If we were getting more portal weapons, I'm sure I would feel slightly different. But like I said, it just feels as though we have kind of lacked a bit of content with Season 5, and I don't really know where it's going to come from either, because obviously in update 5.1 and 5.2, as far as we know, the only thing we're really going to get is the Hourglass rework, which I'd imagine will be update 5.2, and so pretty much from now until about 2.5 months from now, that is the only thing we're getting. And so because of that, I think it's making me kind of wish we did get a specialist, so that at least there was something different in terms of ways to play the game with Season 5. I also think that there's really no reason they couldn't add specialists into the game still, even though they have gone back to the class system. For example, they did it with Season 4. They'd already fixed up the class system, but then they put in Camilla Blasco. And so I do find it kind of odd why they haven't, continued to add specialists into the game. I do think a part of it is probably just the backlash that they received. Pretty much no one likes the specialist system, and so I guess adding a new specialist each season, it probably doesn't seem like a priority to them, and I do understand that. But yeah, in saying that, I don't see any reason they can't still add them. And with the class system, I don't think people would care if they're going to still be adding specialists, because we do still have that class system in place. We're definitely in need of a little bit more content per season. I just don't think that 1 map and 2 to 3 new weapons is going to stack up, but I don't really know what they can replace the specialists with. I guess the naive version of me would love to get an extra map in place of those specialists, I guess, but it's not really the same team that would be working on the specialist system compared to the team that works on the maps, for example. So I don't know the logistics of that. I don't know if that's possible to put out an extra map per season. And the other thing is that once we get that Hourglass rework, there's no more reworks coming either, so each season will probably just be literally 1 new map, 2 to 3 new weapons, and a handful of portal weapons over the course of a 3-month period. And that to me is just definitely not good enough. The game was already kind of drip feeding its content, and don't get me wrong, I've kind of gotten used to that and I've still enjoyed each season, but I think the fact that we are getting like further into the seasons and they're actually adding less content with each season, I just think that doesn't really sit right with me. So like I said, I'm not too sure what they'll replace the specialists with in terms of adding content per season, and it has definitely got me thinking that maybe we were a little bit too harsh about the specialists, not so much the system in general. Like I said, I think it's a good change that they've kind of gone back to at least some, like a remnant of the class system, but in terms of just adding specialists, I don't think that they should have stopped that, and it has definitely had me thinking over the last few days that, yeah, maybe we were a little bit too harsh on the specialists in general. I'm keen to hear what you guys think though, so be sure to leave your thoughts down below. I'm gonna assume that pretty much every comment is gonna say that I'm an idiot, and I am definitely very prepared for that, but I'm curious to know if any of you guys agree with me. Not, again, that we should have kept the original specialist system. I think it's better how it is, but whether you guys agree that they could have changed that to the class system and still added a specialist each season. So like I said, be sure to leave your thoughts down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.